guys, TacticalOyster here for you guys. Take 3 of episode number 36 of 3-Bar Exploits. I'm joined by Bondfire and Whackmed. I don't know what to say next, really. It's episode 36 and we're ready to start. I don't really know what to say, to be completely honest.
If it makes you feel any better, I screwed up the intro too.
I wouldn't say I'm screwing it up right now. I just, what else am I supposed to say? I introduced you guys. This is the episode number 36. We're ready to go. Somebody introduces a topic usually after this, and I mean, that's pretty much it. What else is there?
That's it.
Well, what happened to you last week? Why don't you tell us what happened?
What happened to me last week?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to remember. First of all, I was not feeling well. I had a very bad cough, which would have made it quite annoying to listen to me on the show. And I had a lot of homework to get done because my teachers are trying to cram in all of the stuff that they need to get crammed in before spring break, which is next week. And there was one other thing that happened. I just had a busy weekend in general.
Well, we had Ex Tomas.
I'm aware.
We had a good time with Ex Tomas.
I've heard.
So, it was a fun time. I know where Latvia is now. I got educated.
Yeah, it was a learning experience, that's for sure.
You should have known already where Latvia was, but...
No, I'm not very good at that stuff.
It's a brand new country. It's only 20 years old.
Is that true, or are you making that up?
That's what Ex Tomas told us last week. He said it was only 20 years old.
I'm going to fact check that right now.
It's probably one of the countries that was in... Oh, wow, this is a terrific transition to a topic we're not going to talk about, even though Maze Man...
It's probably one of the countries in the Soviet bloc.
Soviet Union country that got its sovereignty after the fall. I'm assuming that while you're fact checking.
Which will be losing its sovereignty soon.
Quite possibly.
But we don't have to talk about that.
No.
Back to Titanfall! Back to Titanfall!
I don't want to talk about Titanfall. God, everybody's going to be talking. Can we wait until Tuesday, which is ironically when this is going to be posted? Because on Tuesday, that's when everybody's going to be talking about Titanfall. I don't want this to become another Titanfall spam that's going to be filling everybody's subscription box. Because by 4 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, everybody's going to be sick of Titanfall already when it comes to YouTube content. So
Yeah, probably.
I've purposefully saved all of my games from Titanfall's beta just so that I'd have a plethora of content if I wanted to make Titanfall videos. You haven't seen a plethora of content. Like, I did the stuff with Maze Man, the King of the Grunt stuff, but that's about it.
I'm going to make Titanfall tips and tricks videos because I want YouTube monies and views, and I don't care. So suck it, people.
We can talk about Titanfall next week.
Yes.
And then it'll be a week after it releases.
After I tell you guys what the best gun is and the best strategy is and how to get more kills and how to stay alive longer, which is the same as getting more kills, and how to win games and all the other tips you need to know. After you get all that from my channel, then we can talk about it.
You know, I was going to say, one thing I liked about Titanfall from playing the beta is it doesn't matter if you win or lose. You feel like you've accomplished something. And I think that's cool.
Just for an update on Latvia, it was its own country recognized from it declared its independence in 1918. It was recognized as an independent country in 1921, but then it was occupied by the Soviets intermittently between 1940 and 1944, also by the Nazis for a brief time. Then in 1944 the Soviets took it over once again until 1991. So it's actually 23 years old in its current state, but it was originally independent in 1921. So he's right and wrong at the same time.
Wow.
And that is our geography lesson of the day.
Thank you, folks.
The more
Tune in
you
next
know.
week and we'll talk about.
Anyways, yeah. If anybody cares.
I don't think anyone.
No, I actually had people asking me about Tomas. It was fun.
That doesn't mean they care about Latvian history, though.
See, I didn't get any comments on that. I got a good amount of views, but no comments. You know what? That's fine.
I usually don't get that many comments on 3-Bar, so...
So, I've actually had a couple of people ask me, since we're talking about business to start the show, about putting this thing on iTunes, and the reason we have not done that, we talked about it in the past, and we decided not to for a couple of reasons, but the one that's really holding me back from wanting to do that right now, and these two guys don't know that we're supposed to talk about this because we weren't supposed to, is that it actually costs you money to put stuff on iTunes. So
I assumed that, but
yeah,
and just so everybody knows, we've discussed this previously off the show about syndicating it in more ways, not necessarily on iTunes, but certain podcast websites and things of that nature, and certain apps and stuff. It's been kind of on the back burner as we've been working on other things, but I assumed it costed money to put something on iTunes, but I never knew how much it was.
I haven't.
Do you have the number?
No, I don't have the number, but I've seen that several people are talking about. Two different podcasts that I was paying attention to have talked about how much it costs to put stuff on iTunes, and one of them's not a podcast. One of them's a musician. He was talking about the maintenance fees for iTunes.
I'm googling it right now.
Put his music up.
Yeah, because he went with CD Baby, I think, as opposed to iTunes for a specific reason. One of them was money, how much it would cost him to maintain stuff on iTunes. So if you want to contact, me, I can get you an MP3 version. It's not that difficult to render out. It takes about 2 minutes to render it out. And just make sure that whenever the video gets posted, you don't get it until Tuesday, just like everybody else. And make sure when the video is posted, you go to all three of us and hit the like button.
And since people have been asking, which I have seen them asking as well, Whackman's not just making this up. We will make this a focus over the next couple weeks to try to syndicate in other places, if possible. That will be our new main thing we're working on for you people, because you're the people that make this possible. We want to help you out in what you want. So this will be we'll be working on this diligently. I assure you. Maybe.
Random question number 1. Bonfire, you had a random question, did you not?
I did not. That was Oyster.
I have a random question.
Mine wasn't really a random question, like a quick random question. Mine was more of a discussion topic. I just didn't tell you guys what it was until you actually asked it. So.
Well, we will start with Whackman's question. To put you on the spot.
Well, since you're on the main screen on my recording at least, are you afraid of death?
Oh God, this is bad timing for me. I've been going through that death paranoia phase that I think everybody goes through now and then, like the last couple weeks. So no, this
is perfect timing for you.
No, it's bad timing. No, I am very afraid. I'm very afraid.
Why?
Because I don't know. I want to be alive. I enjoy living.
Do we want to take the question as far as, are you afraid of what's going to happen after life? Or
I don't care where we take it. It's up to you. But, well, I don't have any strong beliefs of the afterlife on either side of the fence. So for me, it's just more of a unknown thing, and I don't want to. I don't like the idea. Everyone
fears the unknown.
I don't like the idea of me not like doing anything anymore, just being like asleep for the rest of eternity, and having the world go on without me.
The world would be a lesser place without any of us.
It would.
I like us.
The world without 3-bar exploits is not a world I want to live in.
That's right.
For me, I would say, I don't know, I wouldn't say I necessarily fear death, but more of how I would die.
See, I've got another random question for that.
Because I can already picture what that question would be, but there's certain ways that just I don't want to go that way. So
what are a couple of those, or one of those?
I would say one of them, being burned alive. I'm just seeing that being one of the most horrible things ever.
Oh God, now we're talking about this.
Now, I don't mind. I don't want to be burned alive, like in a car. That would suck. But a lot of there's a significant number of people that whenever you die in a house fire, they don't actually get burned alive. They suffocate from smoke inhalation in their sleep. That's not so terrible sounding.
Well, if you die in your sleep, it doesn't matter how you die in your sleep. You can club me over the head with a giant axe as long as I'm asleep and I don't feel it. I'm just saying. I mean, if you're asleep anyways, it doesn't really matter, does it?
True. We got lectures in fire school about people that you find face down in front of their bed, and the way that the way that happens is you hear the smoke alarm, and remember the smoke's banking down from the ceiling, and you wake up and you stand up, and you are breathing, obviously, and you breathe in those chemicals, suffocate, fall over, pass out, and you're done. And there's a lot of people that are face down just away from their bed because they stand up from their bed and they suffocate immediately, and they go out that way. So if you're in a house fire, crawl from your bed. Don't stand up out of your bed. Just
roll
crawl.
out.
Roll
and
out.
Start crawling.
Another episode of Pro Tips. Whackmed tells you how to exit your bedroom when your house is on fire.
Also works for other situations. If you don't want to wake your wife up in the morning so that you can go
Just
prepare
roll
her
out.
breakfast, just roll out.
I just imagined you like rolling off the edge of your bed and then hitting the ground and
My
then
bed
continuing to roll out.
My bed is 36
exactly how you're
inches
supposed
from
to do
the
it.
floor, so my bed's really, really tall. My wife wanted a bed that was lofty.
My bed is like on the floor basically.
I have to get up into my bed, and I'm 6.5 feet tall, so
Wow.
I made it myself. It's a pretty cool bed.
Wow. Mine's
That's impressive.
probably a normal height.
Mine's like 6 inches off the ground. Well, the frame itself is actually on the ground, but the mattress I'd say the mattress is like a foot off the ground probably.
That's cool.
Makes for convenient sleeping.
If I'm not afraid of death, I wouldn't mind going at any time. I'm insured. I would prefer to go at work because my wife gets a lot more money if I have to go. She gets a lot more money if it happens at work or from
How
a
can you
subsequent.
say? Hold up, I gotta stop you now. How could you say you're okay? Like if you go tomorrow, you're fine. Like
I'm
you're
good.
good.
Like
Really?
my children.
Not other things in life you want to do that you haven't done yet.
I've got someplace better to be, and that's my belief. Without
But okay,
going any
but
further
with
into
that
that.
belief, though, you believe it doesn't matter if you die tomorrow or in 50 years. You still go to that place. So why does it matter? Wouldn't you rather accomplish as much as you can while you're here?
Because
And do as many things.
I can screw up while I'm here. It's about my belief structure, and I just feel like if it was my turn, I'd be ready to go.
You don't want to see all the things you haven't seen.
You're assuming you can't see it.
You can't visit Italy from heaven.
That's
not a thing.
Heaven is better than Italy. I don't care what's
Yeah,
there.
but why not do both?
I mean,
Instead of just one.
I see what you're saying, and your point has some validity, but
It has a lot of validity.
I'm okay with it. I just look.
Well,
I see. Well, there again, I see a lot of death. And there
I saw
are
a
worse
hedgehog
things
that
in
got
life.
ran over by a truck on the road the other day. That's the closest I've been recently, but
There's a lot of things in life that are worse than death.
I agree with that. I think. Yeah, I do.
There's a lot of things in life that are worse than death.
Well, it depends on your definition of a lot.
I've been to a lot of nursing homes and people that are trapped inside their bodies. And this is a very morbid conversation that we should probably leave. I'm just saying there's a lot of things that are worse than death.
I can think of like 20 off the top of my head. but
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
in the grand scheme of life, I mean, is 20 experiences a lot of experiences? I don't know.
To someone who's only had one experience, sure.
Only one experience with death?
No, sure.
I got a save last week while we're talking about death. I got a save. I brought somebody back that was not here.
Did you use paddles?
They were applied, but they weren't needed. Like, just because your heart if your heart stops beating and just stops everything, then you don't paddle. And if
Do you do CPR?
yes, and if the electricity's still flowing in your heart, which is what you're stopping with the paddles, then there's no need to reset that. What you need to do is get the muscle to say, okay, I will do what the electricity is telling me to do. So you do drugs and CPR. And we did drugs and CPR, and we got him back. We got him to the hospital, and actually he got his pulses back in the hospital. So it was what we started, and they continued to do. And he is still alive. He does not have a good prognosis, but he's still alive.
Cool.
Congratulations
I actually
on your
got to
accomplishment.
do what I was trained to do in school. That's really cool. It's like,
Can't say the same.
you went to school? You went to college?
Yes.
What did you? Can I ask what your major was?
Business.
Oh.
Would you mind putting your university in the chat? I'm just curious.
So if you need your business dealt with better, call Bondfire. He's taking applications. He's worth at least 6 figures.
Oh, I know a lot about a business, but
6 figures. He needs a good pension, 401k, medical benefits, not Obamacare, real medical stuff.
Oh, man. We gotta get the Obama shot in per show, I guess.
Oh, that was good. I actually really enjoyed that.
Because Obama's letting the Soviet Union come back.
Okay.
Sorry, I just can't let that topic die.
Maze Man
Just
wants
can't
to
let it
know
die.
about that. That was one of his comments to me directly. Was I think on Twitter or Skype or something. He was like, "You should have asked him about the Soviet Union." And
Wait, who asked that? Sorry, I missed
Maze
it.
Man.
Oh,
Maze Man
okay.
was asking about because we had a guy from Latvia, and it's like right there. It used to be part of the Soviet Union, so it's like get his opinion. Like, did you hear the way he was talking about the Germans? And that was 70 years ago, 70 years ago. Math fails me. 70 years ago. So
70 years to this day, almost. To the year, almost.
Sports question.
Okay, my sports... Okay, here's my sports question.
Let's hear it.
Is, what is your favorite sporting event of the year, assuming it's a yearly event, not like the Olympics or the World Cup? And what do you think is the most overrated sporting event of the year by the rest of America?
Ooh.
Now, whether it doesn't have to be a specific game or it can be like a tournament or some league's playoffs or something.
Can I go first?
Sure.
Yep.
I have 2.
You can only have one. Sorry. Thanks for playing.
Well, then
You
I
have
want to
have
go
two technically
again.
to answer the question in its entirety. You have to have your favorite and the most overrated.
So the most overrated... What? Don't mute me. Put me on big screen. There we go. Okay, so the most overrated sporting event in the world is the Super Bowl. I don't think it's that big a deal. Like, it's just... There's too many problems with it. It takes 16 games to get there. I don't think that it should have as much weight as it does. It's a huge economic boost for all parties involved if you want to pay for it. And I think that the commercials are more for, we've got the money to advertise here, as opposed to what they actually get in return for the advertising. I just don't see that being a beneficial thing. Maybe I'm wrong, but whatever. So I think the Super Bowl is the most overrated. But even though I really do enjoy watching it, I always watch it. My most favorite sporting event is the NFL draft first round.
What?
NFL draft.
You're kidding me.
And
You'd rather
by
watch
that,
the draft than an actual game.
if you take the combine, if you take the condensation of the combine and the first round of the draft, that to me is where the Super Bowl actually mattered. And
this is absurd.
And that is huge. And I would say if you could also couple that with the first real game, not the exhibitions, but the first real game.
Okay, you can't combine like 6 months of football activity into one event.
It's one whole process though, and
It is
real
a process, but it's not one event.
But
I'm
that's
gonna have to decline your answer. It's invalid.
but that's where whenever
You
you're
can
playing,
either pick the combine or the first game of the season, or you can pick the draft. I don't even care if you pick the whole draft. You cannot say, I want the combine, which is in February, and the draft, which this year is in May, and the first game, which is in September, all into one event.
You're wrong. I can.
I refuse.
If
I
you
will not
refuse,
acknowledge
then
your
I would
answer as
say
legitimate.
the weekend that the rivalry weekend in college football, which is typically what, the last weekend, week 16, week 17, when everybody's playing their rival. Alabama's playing Auburn, Florida's playing Florida State, Oregon's playing Oregon State. And who's Texas? Texas plays Texas A&M. Texas plays Oklahoma.
That's actually
I don't
earlier in
remember.
the year, usually.
Is that earlier in the year? But
It's like week 7 or 8, I think, usually.
I think it's that last weekend where everybody plays against each other, because in history, the BCS history, that's always been like the biggest problem going into the tournaments or into the bowls. Good
All right.
question.
That is a good question.
Bonfire, do you have an answer?
Yeah. For overrated, I'm going to have to agree with Whackman. I think it's the Super Bowl. And I think the reason why is, and I noticed it this year, is because of the damn commercials. Like, they have commercials for commercials now for the Super Bowl. That pisses me off.
That's true.
No, I mean, I don't understand it. Like, are you that? I mean, obviously you're that invested. You're spending millions of dollars on these commercials, but you need to have a commercial for your commercial, really? Like, I just, it kind of annoys me now that the Super Bowl has become so obsessed with commercials, and that's what it's all. It's not even about the game anymore. It's about the commercials. That's what people care about. It's become a pop culture thing in this country, and I don't understand why.
True.
For my favorite event of the year, it's kind of a toss-up between. I really enjoy March Madness, though I don't watch all the games. I like the hype around it, and I think it's fun to do the brackets and things like that. I've really kind of gotten into that the last couple of years. Tied with that would also be the Blazers home opener. I think those are always fun. It's always a big event. We always get like a free item when you go to the game, and we usually play against a pretty good team. Like I remember last year's was really awesome because it was the first time Damian Lillard played, and we played against the Lakers, and we killed them, and it was awesome. The Lakers are like one of our rivals, so.
They also suck now, so it's not that much of an accomplishment.
This was last year.
They still weren't that good, if I recall. But
well, they had all their players. That's when they had Dwight Howard, Steve Nash, Kobe, Pau Gasol.
Well, let's be honest. Steve Nash barely doesn't even count, really. So.
Well, he did when he was started out in the Lakers, but now he doesn't. So.
You can have this one. But okay, I get it. You know, the Oregon people hate the LA people because they're the LA people and they think they're all cool. So they come up to They come up to Oregon and you beat them, and it's like, oh yeah, suck it, LA people. I understand.
Okay.
I would have to agree on the Super Bowl. I didn't want to have a three-way agreement, but that, I mean, I don't think the Super Bowl's bad. I don't think it's as good as people say it is. And I would have to say March Madness is my favorite, probably. I'd say that it's my favorite if you don't have a team in it. Like, if my team's not in the tournament, it's my favorite, like, of all the sports, where if I had to say I have to watch this event without having a certain team to root for, that'd be it. If I have a team to root for, I would say the NBA playoffs, maybe. Or the NFL playoffs, either one. But March Madness is probably my favorite in general. So, Whackmed, do you like March Madness? Do you like college basketball?
If I watch college basketball, I do watch college basketball in during the March Madness stuff. I watch it much more if Florida or Florida State are playing. I don't say the ACC because I can't stand Duke. And I think that's an underdog syndrome that's got me away from Duke. But yeah, I watch March Madness. I just figured that somebody was going to say the World Cup. I really, Oyster, I figured you would pick the World Cup as the
well, you said you can't choose that because isn't that?
No, I said you could, but.
Oh, I thought you said you couldn't.
Well, I just assumed that nobody would pick the World Cup or the Olympics, so I said assuming it's an every year thing. The World Cup is up there for me, but it's not my favorite. It's like top 3 maybe.
I can't do soccer.
No Wimbledon? Nobody's got. Leave your comments down below. What's your favorite sporting event that comes out
Bondfire, you say you can't do soccer, but even when it's America, like I can get behind almost any sport as long as I'm getting behind America.
Sure, I mean, go Team USA, but I can't watch it.
It's not like I'm watching. It's not like I'm watching like every single World Cup game. Although I do watch a lot, but at least watch America. Bonfire.
Soccer is so hard for me to watch.
But this is America.
I would rather watch golf than soccer.
I disagree.
I like the way golf is covered. Have you ever watched a golf tournament? They go from person to person where at least you're watching shot after shot. You don't see anybody walk down the fairway. They skip all that stuff. It's covered pretty well.
Have you ever had a Sunday of like the Masters or the US Open or like a major or the British Open where you don't have anything going on that day and you just kind of want to relax? You just kind of lay on your couch and watch this final day of the whatever major golf tournament. You just kind of fall asleep while you're watching golf. Just lay there.
I was going to say it depends on how much I need a nap.
It's quite relaxing. That's about all golf is good for to me from a spectator standpoint.
The reason why I could watch golf over playing soccer is because over the last few years or so, I've really gotten into golf during the summertime, and I can relate more to that because I can see how difficult it is to do what they do on a consistent basis.
Did you see? Was it 3 weeks ago or something like that? There was a lady that sank a 75-foot putt. Wow, it's about 25 meters for you international folks. 24 24 meters, 23 meters or something like
Roughly,
that. It's
close
really
enough to
far.
25.
That's a
really
long way. And she sank it, and they were interviewing her afterwards. And it's like, you had to have been just setting up for your next shot. Just get it close. And they said something. She said something to the effect of, watched it get closer and closer, and it went just like if you played Tiger Woods on the GameCube. I played a lot of Tiger Woods on the GameCube. I was good.
Tiger Woods is a fun game.
I mostly played Madden on the GameCube and Super Smash Brothers, but okay.
Oh, Super Smash Brothers.
I've never played Super Smash Brothers.
Oh, come on! That's one of those games that everybody's played at least once.
Yeah, I was mostly the N64.
Super Smash Brothers. You know what? We debated whether we were going to talk about this, but since Super Smash Brothers has seen a rise in popularity on its pro scene lately, we could transition to WhackMad wanting to fanboy over professional COD now, since that's also a professional video game. So,
well, I was gonna look up the stats real quick for the Wii, since Nintendo said that they were gonna stick with their hardware. If you want to grab that, and we'll move to that next. Or if you want,
I want you to talk about professional Call of Duty WhackMad.
So this weekend was a huge tournament. It was a qualifier for the American teams to go to Los Angeles and compete in, is it World Championships or is that National Championships? Anyway, it's
Call of Duty Championships,
so
World Championships.
The qualifiers were this week, and Strictly Business got in like quick. They went straight through, I think, winners bracket.
I think so.
Envy did really well. They beat Optic, and for those, because they said that the viewership just spiked whenever Envy played Optic.
So they say, because MLG won't let us see how many viewers are watching.
I noticed that. I looked for that after our conversation.
It's because they know the numbers are weak.
They're much lower. I found it. I looked for some reason. I looked on Twitch first, and there was some dude that was live streaming it straight over to Twitch before they shut him down. He had 40,000 people watching or something like that.
What a genius!
That's pretty funny.
I pulled it up and I was like, this doesn't look right. This is some weird guy's channel, but it was the game. I was watching it and there was like real codcasters and everything. Okay, so I opened another window and I was sound checking a video and just looking back and forth, and I looked over and it said this has been taken down by Twitch, unauthorized broadcast or something like that. And I was like, oh, I guess I was watching the wrong thing.
That's funny.
So there was the one thing that I really wanted to talk about was that crap. Was it Complexity scored 35 points in?
Yes, that's what you want to talk about. That was your big excitement of the day yesterday. Was that Complexity?
They scored
35 points in Blitz.
In public matches, you can only get to 8, and it ends the half, and the winning score is going to be, I think it limits you to 8 on the other side. So the winning score is going to be 16. And Complexity scored 35. Well, the big deal about that is that the portal closes for 10 seconds, and the rounds are 5 minutes. So for 350 seconds, the portal was closed. If you want to take off the 35 caps, at 325 seconds, the portal was closed. 315 seconds. So they could not score. And that's just an astronomical one right after the other, and I don't know who the team was that got
Let me put together the math on this. Is it 5-minute halves?
I'm pretty sure it's 5-minute halves, and it was on the map with a train in the middle. I think it starts with Freight. It was on Freight.
And that means there's 600 second. Wait, if my math is correct, there's 10 minutes, 60 seconds, so 600 seconds in the entire game, and for over half of that, they were unable to score because they had scored.
Correct.
Which means
huge.
Let's see. Okay, you keep talking. I want to just calculate.
So basically, those guys got stomped.
They got massacred. Yeah, stomped. They got massacred. They just destroyed.
That means they captured every 8.1 seconds. They captured
every 8.1 seconds that the portal was available. They scored.
That the portal was available. Yes.
And the coach, because I was watching the cutaway because I didn't actually see the match live. I probably would have peed my pants or something to see the match live, but. The coach came in at halftime, or he was standing behind him at halftime. At halftime, they had 17 points, and he comes in, he's screaming over them, I want 35, get me 35, I want 35 points, you're going to get 35 points. And in the last couple of seconds, or last second or so, they scored and got the 35th point. And jaw-dropping, man. That's why pros are pros.
They also did that against pros, though. So I mean, you could also say those guys are pros, and they got 35 capped on them.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, it was an open tournament too.
No, it wasn't. They had to qualify top 16 in the online qualifier to get to this.
Okay, that's kind of all right. I used the wrong terminology. That it was an
Well, I'm saying
online
that
qualifier to
who
get
they
in.
were playing, but it was most likely a professional team or one of the top 5 or 6 amateur teams in the country.
I'd have to look it
So
up.
I'm pulling up the
Still,
bracket as we speak. If I can hurry up. But
mammified, just beat down.
Why do they have coaches? Can someone explain that?
I don't get it. I understand why you would want a strategy coach.
they beat Final Boss.
Yeah.
In their first game.
That's kind of a cool team name. I actually like that.
Then they lost to Strictly Business. But
so it's professional Call of Duty is really suffering right now because Ghost is so bad.
It's also suffering because when people see other games that put on better products, like the Call of Duty is probably, based on viewership, either the 3rd or 4th biggest competitive video game right now, but it doesn't put on the 3rd or 4th best product from a presentation standpoint. Because what?
I'll let you continue, and then I got a question.
Well, you can go ahead and ask the question now. Cause
well, say, why do you think that is?
Why do you think it is that they put on a bad show, a bad presentation?
Compared to?
Well, compared to, I watched League of Legends professional League of Legends relatively consistently, but I've also seen professional Dota and Super Smash Brothers and StarCraft and Counter-Strike, and almost all of those games. Like, for example, League of Legends is the best example because it's the one I see the most of, but most of the other games I named do this as well. You know, when you're watching the MLG stream yesterday, you're getting 15 to 20 to 25 minutes of downtime between games, and that's the number one thing I would say overall. There's other things they do as well, but that's the number one thing is that it took me, I was going to watch Optic versus Curse NY because the loser didn't qualify, and I was hoping Optic was going to lose. But I was going to watch that, but it started 20 minutes after it was scheduled to start, and that was after 10 minutes at least of downtime prior to that as well. So we're talking about at least, if not more, 30 minutes of the stream just saying on the stream all there was Optic versus Curse NY next. That's all it was on the stream. Whereas in League of Legends, during that time, you're getting player interviews with the casters. You're getting player features that look like NFL player features and NBA player features, where they're doing behind the scenes shoots of like the team houses and stuff. You're getting analysis. You're getting replays from previous games. You're getting standings updates. It's presented like a real professional sport as far as their broadcasts go. In Call of Duty, you get a screen with a graphic on it for 30 minutes while they wait to set up the main stage after each game. You also don't have in-game replays that are as fast or efficient. You don't have as good of a spectating mode. You don't have as many tournaments. Your tournaments are horribly organized compared to most of the other professional games. It's just the overall product. Even if Call of Duty, even if you have Black Ops 2, which I maintain has been the best COD you could possibly have from a competitive standpoint, in the series thus far, even with COD at its best product, compared to games that are not as popular or not as good, they still have horrible presentation, and I don't understand why. They want to put this money into esports and try to grow esports, but they do a horrible job of actually, putting it on. I just don't understand.
That's all fair, completely. I did notice in this tournament that they did some player bios. They actually did he's been playing Call of Duty competitively since this game, and he's from this place, and this is his real name. They did that a little bit. The problem, I agree with you, is that you have those huge downtimes in between games, and you say, well, just switch to the other stream. Sometimes those sync up, and how do you not know? I mean, these games are all of the games are timed. You could say Domination would be the only one that's not. All of the games are timed. They have a specific length, and That's not true. Search and destroy is not, but they're 2 minutes apiece.
But why should they even have to have 2 streams to fill up? They should have content ready to go to fill the downtime to entertain people. That's just lack of effort.
Yes.
You shouldn't have to switch streams to see other. There should be more than just live action over the course of watching an MLG event stream.
And I think another problem is that there's no rules for, like, when you're watching a football game or soccer or any game, there are shots that you expect to see whenever something is going on. You expect in soccer to have the wide pan out view whenever there's a throw in from the sideline. You expect this to be the angle that you see the throw in at. Whenever there's a penalty kick, you expect to see that. You know, in baseball, it's going to be over the pitcher's shoulder looking at the plate. When there's a hit, they change views. Everything is laid out as to how you will see this game. And there's not that in Call of Duty. And I had to deal with that stupid Oracle mode all day yesterday. It's like, you know,
I only watched one map, but of the entire event, so I don't know. But I actually liked the Oracle mode because they do that in Counter-Strike as well, and I think it's a good feature because it allows you to see. I think that what you're saying with the camera views is completely valid, but the reason that's true, I think, is because of the fact that the game is a first-person shooter, and naturally your view's going to be from the first-person standpoint of one of the players.
But
so
there
can be
rules.
So much.
Like when in Black Ops 2, they went by streaks. Whoever was on the highest kill streak is what it seemed like they defaulted to. And it wasn't a rule, it just seemed like what they defaulted to. Oh, he's on 5 kills, let's go to him. He's ripping it up. Or this guy's close to the goal, let's go to him. And it seems like now they're just jumping in with one player and they're going to follow him the whole round. And Oracle mode is great sometimes. And in other times, it's like I'm not watching anything but the Oracle now. I'm not paying attention to how he's playing the map. I'm not learning what he's looking for. I didn't feel like I learned as much from the pro players because I knew where the other guy was. I didn't watch how he approached the corner because I was just waiting to see if there was going to be a conflict there. It's got pros and cons.
He leaned in the corner.
He leaned.
So for those of us who don't know what Oracle mode is, what is that?
When they're outlined.
When the players are outlined in the orange glow.
The entire time.
It's a kill streak in the game.
No, I know that.
But
that's what that meant.
It's just permanent. It's in the broadcasting mode. You can turn it on as a permanent thing. So that anybody on the map that's an enemy of the player you're spectating is basically in that mode.
But they don't put friendlies in blue. Which is what I would...
Counter-Strike does that, I'm pretty sure.
They do.
There's different colors.
I don't think they cover it well. I think that's the biggest problem. I think that it's done in an amateurish way that looks amateurish. I could do as good a job as they're doing. You could do as good a job as they're doing. Somebody who's making $50,000 a tournament to put on a tournament should be doing better job than that.
Imagine if between games, between 2 matches, you got a 10-minute behind-the-scenes feature of the Optic House, and then you got an interview with Cursed Parasite, and then you got a player profile of some new up-and-coming player you didn't know very much about, and then with 5 minutes before the game started, you got a player from a team that just won that went and joined the casters at their desk to talk about the previous game that they played. Like, that's all stuff that these other games do, but I don't... Like, MLG, I'm sorry, MLG is not a good... does not run tournaments well. They're not good. I've supported MLG for a while, ever since I started playing, and learning what game battles was, back in Modern Warfare 3, which is when I first kind of discovered that professional gaming was a thing. And I always thought, MLG's the top of the mountain. They're the best. They're the most popular for a reason. But in reality, MLG, they've done a lot of things in the last year that are just bad. Or I'd say not last year, I'd say the last 6 months, more like, not alone with Call of Duty, but just in general, that are just not good business moves. And I don't know, they just don't seem like a well-run company to me. And you can tell in their broadcasts. And with that Call of Duty league, the online league, that was a complete joke. Their presentation of their streams is a complete joke. Forcing all of the pro teams to stream on MLG.com instead of Twitch, or else you don't let them stream MLG events, is a joke and is ridiculous. I thought that was
interesting. Because I noticed someone on Twitter yesterday said that, they have to go to MLG.TV to watch this tournament instead of over on Twitch, and I think that's really interesting, an interesting move on their part. Twitch obviously has a bigger fan base.
I don't mind the tournament being there because it's their tournament.
Yes, I agree with that.
But
sure,
having the team stream there, just like on their down, like when they're streaming scrims or something.
Right.
And the thing is, you didn't have to sign. People say, well, you didn't have to sign the agreement with MLG to make your streams over there. You could keep streaming on Twitch if you want. But I'm fairly certain that if you didn't sign that agreement, then any MLG event that you participated in, which is at least 1 or 2 game battle tournaments a week, if at the least, you're not allowed to stream unless you're streaming it on MLG. So if I said, oh, well, screw you, I want to stream on Twitch when I scrim and stuff, that's okay. But whenever I play in a game battles tournament, I'm not allowed to stream that.
Yeah.
So they kind of screwed over. They kind of screwed over the players. And if I'm not mistaken, Complexity did not sign that agreement, or maybe they have now, but they didn't at first. They waited longer than everybody else. Maybe they haven't still. I'm not sure. But
so that brings me back to my question, though. Why do you think it's just bad? Like, well, why is it so bad? Do you think it's part of Activision's fault for not supporting esports, or do you think it's MLG just being lazy?
I think it has to come down to Activision in the end, because in all the other games that I mentioned that are doing well, it's usually the developer that's pouring in the money to make the product better. I mean, League of Legends, all of it's run by Riot. All the tournaments, which is the company that makes the game, the Activision of League of Legends, if you will, they're the ones who put on the LCS, which is the Professional League of Legends League. They're the one, and they pay to have LAN. They have a LAN. They literally have, their league is a weekly league, and it's all LAN. So 3 days out of 7 a week, they're having a LAN tournament every single week for like 4 months out of the year, which costs a lot of money, but that's what they're doing, as opposed to having like 5 LANs a year, which MLG does. It's the developers pouring in all the money in these other games. I'm pretty sure Dota's developed by Valve, I think.
Yep.
So, and Valve's the one who's pouring the money in.
Same with Counter-Strike.
Same with StarCraft, with Blizzard. I'm pretty sure that's who their developer is.
Activision Blizzard now, I mean.
Yeah.
So that kind of.
But why Activision's got to be the one to pour the money in, but they don't, because in reality, Pro CoD doesn't sell games for them. Whereas Pro League of Legends is the biggest advertisement for League of Legends. Same thing with Dota and other games.
I have a theory.
What's your theory?
Call of Duty is declining. Why invest money in a declining product?
That's valid. I never really thought about that.
Halo 2 was huge. Xbox 360, PlayStation 2.5, 3 came around, and COD killed it. It's same time frame. The generation has switched. People are trying their best to leave Call of Duty, sometimes just for the hipsterish, just to do something else, or just to say, it's just popular to hate on Call of Duty, whether you like it or not. And people are actively trying to move away from it. Are you going to get rid of your cash cow in Call of Duty? No. Are you going to support it like you would have 5 years ago? No. Don't put your money there. Put your money in something else. What can it go into?
Destiny.
I've heard Destiny from a couple of people around here. I don't think it's Titanfall. I don't think Titanfall has the ability to be competitive in that type of circuit.
Dear Lord, please, I don't want it to be.
I almost called you Game Site because that's what popped up on my screen. But Bondfire wants all the hipster club to go over to Titanfall, and he doesn't want all the main streamers to pollute it up.
I don't want Titanfall to be clouded up with Call of Duty type players. I want people to come over to play that game just like they would have in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Just for fun, you're having fun, you're playing with your friends. There's nothing super competitive about it. People aren't getting overly competitive with it. They aren't trying to take it to esports. It's just a game to have fun with your friends. It's a multiplayer game. Let it be that.
What are the chances that a third-person shooter becomes the next?
Whenever Rainbow Six Patriots comes out, good God, it should have came out like 5 years ago.
No. The next big Tom Clancy game is going to be The Division, and that game looks awesome. I'm not
saying it's going to be that, but that's the first third-person shooter that popped into my mind.
No, I agree, but I really don't think that game's coming out. I think it got scrapped.
Oh God, I hope not.
That's just my opinion, but
I hope not.
Yeah, The Division, that game is going to be sick.
So, did you pre-order your Titanfall Xbox One?
yet. I pre-ordered and paid for, and I
Yeah.
confirmed. Well, I'm still have my slight doubts because
Big faces when they
confirmed that I
fall
should be able to
out.
pick it up at midnight. So, though I won't be able to play it till like 4 a.m. with all the stupid little downloads and updates
You're not
that
gonna
I've got
pick
to
it
do.
up till 4 a.m.
No. I won't be able to play until 4 a.m.
That's
So I'll
like
pick it up at
7
midnight, and then
Yeah, it's 7 a.m.
That's
Silly.
7
I
a.m.
don't know what you all are talking about. You guys are on weird time frames. So I pick it up. I'm gonna have to download 30,000 updates that apparently take forever to do.
Well, did you
on
not
the
have to do
Xbox
that for
One.
the PlayStation 4? And how long did it take from the moment that you unboxed your PlayStation 4 and started plugging in the first wire to the moment you were actually able to play a game? How long did it take?
I would say no more than 30 minutes, and that was just to install
Really?
the game. Yeah, I didn't have to do any like big updates, and it wasn't any like super big updates. Maybe there was one minor update that I had to do, but it didn't take very long. It was just the game install, and then I was going.
What's your download speed?
I have no idea off the top of my head.
Speedtest.net.
Yeah, hit a speed test real quick and then we can come back to it. It took me between an hour and 2 hours before I started playing in the first quarter when I was actually able to play a game on the Xbox One.
I really don't think I have that fast of internet. I actually think they've kept or lowered my internet speed as of late.
I knew that. Well, we could talk about. We'll go ahead and talk about the Xbox One bundle thing, but then I want to bring something back to League of Legends involving you guys after that. But we can get to that in a minute. After Bondfire tells us his download speed.
It's going right now.
Anyways,
Yeah,
people are pissed about the Xbox One bundle.
Well, that's what I'm noticing. So, because I love reading the comments on various video game sites because you really get a sense of what the community thinks and is doing. And right now you got the Xbox One Titanfall bundle coming out, and then also just announced this week that there certain specific retailers, they haven't said what retailers yet, are next week are going to, well, it'll be this week when this goes live, are bundling Forza 5 with new purchase of the Xbox One. So there's two different game bundles technically, and I don't know if you buy the Titanfall bundle, if you get Forza 5 as well. That would be cool on my part. Could be
There'll be a crazy stacking of bundles there.
Yeah, but either way, you get a game with your Xbox One for the same price as people are paying for the Xbox One, and there's a lot of people that are upset with that. And I think the reason they're upset with it is because it's only 4 months after the Xbox One's been released that there's a price drop in the UK to make it more competitive with the PlayStation, which is for obvious business reasons that makes sense. And there's no price drop here in the US, but now they're bundling games in the US, and people are upset about that.
Bundling games essentially makes it a price drop.
Sure.
Because you're getting $560 worth of content instead of $500, so you're essentially lowering the price to $440 for the actual Xbox One. I mean, you can look at it either way if you want, but
Now remember, in the UK, they're paying more for those consoles anyway.
True.
Right.
They're paying like $700 and $600 American to have those games. What was your speed test result?
It says download speed is 55.97.
Whoa!
Upload
Lord.
speed 12.34.
What's your
My
ping?
goodness.
21.
Wow! No wonder
55
you've
over
got a
12
connection.
with 21 ping. Holy crap.
Is that good for you?
That's great. That is great.
I'd be pissed.
That is fantastic.
Everybody on the screen, if you can see it, 49 milliseconds worth of ping is my downfall because I have 118.03 down and 22.1 up.
God, you guys are lucky. How? How do you guys have such good internet? How much do you pay for your internet?
Through the teeth, I actually used to have 3 children. It's not true. I don't know. It's bundled. Everything's bundled.
Has to be bundled.
Who's your provider?
Comcast.
Comcast?
Comcast.
Mine is Time Warner.
No, it's not
Comcast.
Comcast.
Wait, did they merge or something?
Comcast bought them.
Oh, well, mine's Comcast then.
Now mine owns yours. And you know what you can do? Everybody right now, or not right now, finish the show. Then call Comcast, complain about your speed, about what you're getting. It doesn't matter. Call them and complain that your service isn't good enough. They'll send a technician out to your house and they will tweak it and it will be better than it was before you complained just because you were an active consumer and complained.
I disagree.
Really?
I do.
Is I've done that several times. And they
I
just
know,
keep-
and maybe they'll do that, but if you complain or threaten to leave their service because they jacked your bill up every single month, that does not work.
You don't.
They don't give a shite.
You don't threaten to leave their service. You just say, "Hey, I'm supposed to be getting," and play stupid. Play stupid. Some of you it's not hard. Some of you it's going to be very hard. Play stupid and say, "I don't understand why I'm not getting this. My pages are taking so long to load. This is taking that to load." And just, can you please just send somebody to help me?
What you do is you bust out all the terminology on them, because this is what happened. What has happened before with my parents. You just tell them like you're experiencing packet loss and stuff that most people don't understand what it means, and then they'll just to get you out of their hair. If you act like you know a ton, or if you do know a ton, either one, as long as they think you know a ton, then you can throw out a lot of terminology, which will just make them frustrated because they may not even know what you're talking about because they're just a customer service representative, and that may make them want to send someone to help you just to get you out of their hair, so they can stop listening to you and your computer nerd speak.
The whole point is to have someone come to you. That's the whole point. Just get a technician out here to play with your modem. That's the whole goal. Once that guy gets there, that's the guy that you buy the steak for. He's the one who's going to call dispatch and turn up your volume, your bandwidth, your speed. That's the guy that you need to be nice to and give him a hug when he walks through the door.
What's your guys' numbers again? Read them off real quick, and I'll read you mine.
56 and 12.
I'm paying
56 and 12.
I'm paying for 105 by 20, and I think it's actually 118 by 19 or something like that most of the time.
My upload speed used to be better.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm paying for 50 over 5. And I'm getting 28 over 5.5.
Yeah, see, just call them and say,
ping.
I'm consistently doing this, and what you're going to have to do is say, I check it in the morning, I check it in the middle of the day, and I check it in the evening, and it's consistently less than what I'm paying for. Can you please help me? Maybe something's broken. Can you please send somebody out to fix this? I don't know what the problem is. And
well, it's not a huge
concern. They charge you for that dude coming out, though?
No. Comcast doesn't. Never charged me.
See, my problem is this, though, because maybe you haven't experienced this. Are you in a contract?
The bundle is, yes.
Okay, so you're in a contract, so you're at a set price for a set contract term. That's
Not
fine. We're not in a contract.
I'm not in for a term, but I'm in for the price bundling. Like if I break
so you're in a
one,
promotional price.
Yeah, I'm in
for a given time. See, we had that as well, but once that expires, every month after that, they jack your bill up. And there's no explanation for it.
Like, I don't know what my bill is. My wife handles that, but...
Yeah, but see, that's our problem here is I feel like every month, you know, we get one of those pricing bundles for a set amount of time, and then it's like a couple months later, boom, they jack our price up, and we call them, and they have no explanation on why. And we tell them it's all about getting the new customers, which I think this ties in to the Xbox One bundles, because it's all about getting the new customers. There's always bundles and promotionals for the new customers. Once you're a customer, they don't give a crap about you. And, well, I think that applies to the Xbox One bundles. Now, let me ask you guys this, in transitioning back to the Xbox One bundles. So I'm tired of talking about Comcast, because I hate Comcast. Though I will say, Portland is potentially going to get Google Fiber.
Right.
And that makes me very, very happy.
I'm pretty sure I have Verizon Fios available in my area, but...
I've heard good things about them as well.
I mean, it's the same thing as Google Fiber, essentially, except they probably don't have as good a customer service because it's Google versus Verizon. Although with the whole Google Plus integration, I doubt Google's customer service nowadays. But
you probably have to have a Google Plus profile to sign up for Google Fiber.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's like, would you like to gain internet access? Please enter your Gmail password.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure that's how it works.
Kind of like with Xbox, you have to enter your Hotmail password.
Is that a thing?
I don't have Hotmail.
I don't have Hotmail.
Yeah, to be on Xbox Live.
You have to have a Windows Live. You have to have a Windows Live email address.
That's Hotmail.
No, I've never used it, so I don't know.
You crazy.
How do you sign? What's the email address you sign in to Xbox Live on?
First initial, last name @live.com.
Really? I don't have live.
Mine's at AOL.
Mine's at Hotmail. Whenever I bought the 360.
I think you actually. I think you can. Those are. You said. What'd you say yours was, Bondfire?
AOL.
AOL. Yeah, I thought so. I'm pretty sure those are the 3 websites you can have it on if your Xbox account is Windows Live, AOL, or Hotmail.
WhackMed has a lot of email accounts.
I have one that I use primarily. One for school and one for personal. But
So I was going to ask you guys, since you both bought your Xbox Ones on day one, do you feel cheated?
no. Because it's been 4 months, and that's the way the world works. Is they're going to get bundles because it's a new popular game coming out.
And if anybody wanted to feel cheated, I think I have a leg to stand on because my Xbox was broken when I got it. And I got nothing for that. I had to wait almost a week to take it back to the store and exchange it. Or I could have sent it in and gotten a free downloadable game. Well, I chose to just get it sooner. And instead of keeping my broken one and then switching it back and forth, I could have got Dead Rising 3 for free. But I chose to take it back to the store. So I didn't get a game that time. A couple months ago, I think it was for Christmas or just after Christmas, Walmart started giving away one of 4 games. And whenever you bought an Xbox One, which means I would have Battlefield 4 because of the games that I would have been able to choose. Battlefield 4 would have been it. And now you're going to be able to buy one with the, in about 2 years, you're going to be able to probably get 2. Probably one is a download only, and the other one maybe packaged in as a hard disc.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like my Titanfall bundle, it comes with a digital copy of Titanfall, so I won't own the actual physical copy. Which, for me personally, like that bothers me a little bit because I like owning the physical copies of my game. I'm weird like that.
We know you do.
Yeah, you can see it back there, but I'm gonna get over it because I was like, you know what, $500. I'm already gonna spend the $500 to get an Xbox One, and they're throwing Titanfall in, and it's got a cool box. Why not? It's not the bundle I wanted though. Now, if you guys had noticed though, all the Respawn people got those actual customized Titanfall Xbox Ones from Microsoft, and that pisses me off that they're not coming to my house. I don't know what happened to Whackman.
I'm still here.
Oh, okay, you like froze for a second.
Oh, my bad.
So,
Yeah.
I'm not actually dying looking for waiting on Titanfall. Are you? I mean, is it because you're getting the Xbox One, or is it because of Titanfall?
I think it's a little of both because I mean, after playing the beta, there was one that I think it was the last night the beta was open for me to play at least because the next day when it turned off, I was at work. But like I was just playing. Next thing I know, it was like 4 hours went by, and I was like, wow, I got to go to bed because I got to work, and it was so much fun. So I'm very excited for the game, but I'm also really excited to have an Xbox One and play with the controller and just get to experience the whole system. And I'm really excited for their Twitch services because I saw a demo of it, and since it was made by Twitch, it's really cool. It is superior to the PlayStation 4 streaming service.
What can you do with it? Does it just allow you to live stream?
Well, I think it's a higher resolution, but you can also move the picture-in-picture, which is cool depending on what game you're playing. And you can have it snapped to where you can see the comments, how many people are in there, or you can have it unsnapped. And it just seems like there's a few more options as far as customizability, and I like that. I think that's pretty cool.
I'm actually very interested to see what kind of game modes they're going to have. I'm not sure what kind of game modes are going to be possible. Like if you take your Call of Duty or your Counter-Strike game modes, I'm not sure how many of those are going to port over well to that type of game where you've got the mechs to be able to... You got the mechs that can be involved as well. Like Capture the Flag, how would that work? I don't see it as possible. So some like Demolition, now that would be cool to try to plant a bomb under a Titan in a game like Demolition or Sabotage, but I'm curious. I don't know. I'm hoping they come up. I want new game modes. Like that's the one thing that's not a reskin thing. If you give me like Blitz, good attempt. It would have been great on a different Call of Duty. Blitz would have been really cool on Modern Warfare 3 even. Not Ghost just has too many downfalls. What else did they have? Search and rescue. I really wish the pros were playing search and rescue instead of search and destroy. I think that's a huge element that's different. Like, I'm much better at search and rescue than I am at search and destroy, even though most of the time I don't get revived. It's a goal of mine to revive people. I'm interested to see what the other game modes are.
I am too. I think it's really curious to see what they can creatively bring to the table with those. I was gonna say for capture the flag, what you do is you steal the flag, then you hop in your Titan and go.
If you can, or does that drop the flag in its place, or does that send it back to the base? Can a Titan carry a flag? See, cool stuff. So last topic that we were going to bring up, maybe, and then shut it down was then
Oyster's gonna say something about League of Legends to you guys, but that's like 3 minutes or less.
So we talked about Thief last week a little bit, and the game is really hard, and it doesn't lend itself well to making videos with, because all of it's kind of Let's Play style ish.
Yeah.
And not killing anyone is really difficult, and it gets harder and harder throughout the game, which it should. That's a natural progression. The game gets harder as you play. There are a couple of things that really bother me. First of all, I had frame rate issues in a specific scene. You're running, this is not a spoiler, but you're running across some rooftops. I had frame rate issues. They kept dropping. It's like you're running through, there's explosions everywhere, and the frame rate keeps dropping. The storyline made no sense whatsoever as far as why there's explosions and the amount of massive damage that was done. So that didn't even work well with the storyline. Or maybe it'll fix it later, but whatever. And in some of the walkthroughs that I saw before the game came out, there's this where you kind of crawl through something, and then you push a beam up, and you keep going. Did you see anything about that? Have you watched any of the trailers?
Yes, I've seen some of them, but I
so
don't recall them.
You crawl through a tight space, you push a beam up, and you keep crawling, and you come out the other side. You do that like 10 times in the game. It's a repeat. It's a reskin of itself. You crawl through a space, push a beam up, and go out the other side. It's all... I want to say one time it felt mirrored, like you were crawling to the right and pushing the beam up to the left. But I don't think so. I think you're always crawling and angling to the left and pushing the beam up with your right hand. I think it's always that way. Several times throughout this game, you repeat that process, and they reskin it, and maybe this time you're in a cave and you're pushing a rock up, and maybe this time you're in a football field and pushing a goalpost up, and maybe, I'm trying not to give things away, but you get the point, different environments, but you do the same movement several times over throughout the game. That's dumb. And there's certain windows that you've jimmied the lock for in the past. You've got to re-jimmy them every single time. You've got to reopen them the same way. And there are some things that are repetitive that should have been handled better.
Yeah.
So
I haven't played it. It's a game that I was gonna pick up. I'm considering it at this point. Is it on next gen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I might pick it up for the Xbox One then and live stream some of it. That's a possibility.
Yeah,
South
I definitely
Park
want to pick up that game.
South Park: Stick of Truth, game I would recommend to anybody out there. I think it is a very good game.
I want that game.
I think it is. It's a very good RPG by itself without using South Park as a crutch. And then when you throw in South Park as the premise of the game, it makes it better.
Yeah, I actually watched Boogie live stream it just for a little bit.
Yeah.
He was in the beginning, and I love how it feels like it's the perfect stream game, I must say, because it feels like you're watching the show. Like the art, I love the art style, because it parallels with the show. The humor is, it's just as raunchy as the show, and I find that hilarious. It seems awesome. Everything I've heard is good things for the most part, minus some of the RPG elements, but yeah, it looks fun. Have you beaten it?
I have not beaten it.
I'm curious how long it is.
I'm like halfway through by most people's standards. Like I'm like about 5 to 6 hours in, and most people say it takes 12 to 15 hours to beat. So.
Okay.
But it has some replayability with the different classes and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but it's not very long.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's very short for an
modern day
RPG.
But,
Especially turn-based RPG.
well, the only part that's turn-based is the combat, but
Yeah.
it's still very good combat, I think. Is Whackman here? His screen is frozen.
No, he's moving.
Okay, his screen is frozen for me. I don't want to make my last point before he gets back. So.
Yeah. Well, man, are there any? Because we've had some big announcements, as far as games upcoming and stuff. I mean, is there anything outside of the ordinary that's kind of piqued your interest that you're excited for?
I'm trying to think. Not really. The only games that are on my radar right now really are Titanfall and possibly Thief, and that's the only thing coming out like in the next few weeks / months are already out that I'm really particularly interested in. Yeah, I mean that's kind of it for me. I'm mainly on the League of Legends grind right now.
Yeah.
So I'm really been worried about other stuff. Okay.
Oh, that's okay.
Whackbed, well, since we're close to wrapping up, here's my question I want to ask you guys of the day. What is it going to take to get you guys to try League of Legends? And when can we start recording the series teaching noobs to play League of Legends together?
When the sun goes black.
Why, Whackbed, why? You have the computer to play it. Me and Archaic have been talking behind your back about how you're not using your computer's abilities to play this great game.
I do have a pretty beastly computer.
Exactly.
It's pretty
every
nice.
Every time I ask, we and Archaic are like, well, have you gotten Whack to play League yet? And we're like, no. And then Archaic's like, his computer is so good. Why does he play League?
Yeah, I do have a pretty good computer. I don't. I just don't see an appeal to it by watching it.
You have to try it. Nobody sees an appeal to it until they play it. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was stupid for nerds before I played it. For like people who just played it all day and like it was too complicated. And then I actually played it and it's so fun. Like, you just have to try it at least once.
For me, whenever I get a PC.
So what does it take to get into League of Legends?
What do you mean exactly?
What's the website?
LeagueofLegends.com.
Duh.
And you can download it and sign up there.
How much does it cost?
It's 100% free.
That's the appeal of the game. It's free.
Okay, so
I think that hugely contributes to its popularity.
Yeah.
So you just click play now?
Yep. You're going to have to download it, which takes a while. It's a big download. But with your 120 download speed, it probably won't take that long. You'll probably finish it in like 15 minutes.
And I will say I'm definitely looking into getting it. It's more of going to be a streaming PC, but building my own PC. I just don't know when that'll happen.
So does your Mac just not good enough specs to run it or run PC games? Like, because you don't do much PC gaming, do you?
I do zero.
So is it just because your computer's not good enough, or is the fact that it's a Mac make it less stuff you can do with it, or?
It has nothing to do with whether it's a Mac or if it's good enough. For me, it's just there's very little appeal to it. I mean, there's a lot of games that are PC only that I want to play, and if I had a PC, I would certainly try them out. But
I'm not opposed to PC gaming. I have PC games. I have Civilization 4. I had SimCity 4. I had a couple of expansion packs for those games. I had a submarine game. Man, submarine games are awesome. I wish I had a good submarine game.
Yeah, and I don't want to make it out to people like I'm some huge PC gamer. I mean, I play League of Legends and I play a couple other games occasionally, but I'm by no means a hardcore PC gamer.
There are some games that are just better on computer, and like airplane games are okay with a controller. Submarine games, when you have to control dive rates and tank games are better on the computer. And I
World
guess
of Tanks is another game that you guys should try. I've played a little bit of it, but
I have it
it's
on the
another
360.
it's another free to play.
I'll make you a deal.
Or is it
Yeah,
free?
I
I don't
have
know.
it on the 360. So
I'll make you a deal. Make me. I think you can do it with 3. Make 3 videos for me, telling me how you start playing League of Legends, so that I don't walk in having to ask 800 million questions about a game I know absolutely nothing about. So start with like, this is the load-in screen, and here is where you pick what kind of fighter you want to be. This is a fighter. This is a mage or something. It looks like a Dungeons and Dragons type of game. That kind of video. Make those the very most basic videos of just how to start playing the game, and I will devote 10 hours to playing League of Legends.
So like 12 matches.
Is that?
Yeah.
Does it take an
a
hour?
match?
Well, it's not that long usually. It's between 30 and 45 minutes.
There's no campaign. You just play against someone.
It's all multiplayer between 30 and 45 minutes
Good grief!
per game.
And you see,
That doesn't work well with me.
yeah. And you want to know why?
Why?
Why I think? I think it's because Call of Duty's lowered your attention span for games.
No, it's because I've got other stuff going on. If
So
I
you're saying-
did,
you're
literally
saying-
when I live stream, this whole house shuts down so that I can play a game. That's how it works. Like
So you're
if I'm
saying
not
you
live,
don't have? You're saying you can't make an hour of free time a day to play one League of Legends game?
no,
That's
I can't.
ridiculous. I don't believe you.
You don't have to, but I do.
I don't believe that you don't have an hour of free time a day.
I work 12 hours a day and drive an hour each way to get there.
That's 14 hours if you sleep.
Not
She doesn't
8,
sleep.
How much do you sleep?
about
I mean-
5.
5 hours? That still leaves you a whole 5 hours of free time per day.
Yeah, but when you get to be an adult, you got to do all kinds of stupid crap. Like
It's
I
not
got
I'm
to do
aware.
laundry.
But how much?
I gotta
Okay,
do
Wagman
Dear
produces
Lord, it
pretty much
sucks.
daily YouTube content, and he's telling me he doesn't have time an hour a day.
Let me tell you a secret
Take
about.
an hour that you're working on YouTube and play a game of League of Legends.
No, because it killed your channel. You don't upload at all anymore.
And he's
Not
still getting
true.
subs.
Not
And he's
true.
still getting subs.
Oh man. Well, that's because I've been working on more high quality content, like my 10-part League of Legends for Dummies series. So I've already got that coming down the pipe. I don't even have to make it just for you.
Ding.
Well,
Someone's
Boom.
slacking on the soundboard.
Oh,
That was a promotion.
cha-ching.
let me tell you the secret about Whackmed's daily videos. I sit down for several hours one day and record 2 weeks worth of videos, and then edit them
That's crazy.
in the next day, and just sit down. I'd sit down and make commentary. A lot of them are first take. I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying that's what they are. And I cut them, clip them, edit them. And in one day last week, I made all of last week's videos, except for 3-bar. And Monday's video, which was yesterday, and tomorrow's video as this comes out, which is Wednesday's video. And after that, I really don't have anything. So you're probably not going to see anything on Thursday and Friday, unless I just...
How long did it take you
magically-
to make those 8 videos or whatever?
A video takes... Well, it depends. Like, I got some really good responses about my fishing video where I got lost offshore in the storm. That took me... I had to record it twice because the audio failed one time. So it took me 15 minutes to make it once the recording didn't go bad. Because those are easy. I sit in front of this camera and I talk for 5 minutes. I take it back, do some color correction, find a picture to put behind it, fix the audio, ship it out. Those are easy. When you sit in front of the camera and talk, that's really easy. When you've got to find a gameplay and then make sure you got to watch the whole gameplay to make sure you did well as you say you did whenever you wrote it down. And then
Yeah, that's one of the things I do that it's time consuming. And,
yeah. I got to watch
I watch every single one of my videos in its finality.
5 times. I mean, from beginning to end, a Call of Duty overlaid video, I'll probably watch it 5 times.
I watched mine once in the editing software.
Yeah. Same here.
If that. I watch that I don't even watch it in its entirety most of the time.
But like a Let's Play, like my Let's Play or my Minecraft series, because when I record Minecraft, I'm doing like hour to 2 hour chunks. So
Right.
I'm breaking those up into episodes, but like I watch all the way through to find what I think would be a legitimate good stopping point, and then
I'm trying to produce more content now
Go
in this
back.
league. I'm expecting good things from this League of Legends series because I'm trying to put high production quality into it. But outside of that, I don't really have any content planned after that, and I don't know what there is to talk about.
Well, I have an upcoming series with Rage of Heaven coming out.
Guess what? We all just got tweeted.
I actually just retweeted that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I hate
hadn't
those
got the
keep
retweet
calm
yet.
things, but
It's a
I just
trial
love the
thing.
standby for Titanfall because when they say it in the game, I just get so excited. I get giddy.
I'm gonna ask people a question. Is this a good place to do it? Should I open up something right here at the very end of this show?
open it and then wrap up immediately without allowing any kind of reaction.
If you have
from
a
us
good
two.
lyric for Titanfall, I
Oh, no.
probably would be interested in hearing it. That's episode 36 of 3-Bar Exploits. Tune in next Tuesday. Like, subscribe, comment below, leave suggestions about what you want to hear about. Thanks, and have a great day.
Woo!